Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday to you. Welcome back from the weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. Today, we continue our exploration of rational expressions, and we're going to start adding and subtracting them. For all you fans of fractions, this is right up your alley. So, key to adding and subtracting fractions is to make sure you have a common denominator. The same idea when you add and subtract rational expressions. So, we'll start out here with number 1, and in number 1 you see that you have a denominator of r plus 4 and a denominator of 5r minus 5, which means that our common denominator is going to be r minus 5 times r plus 4. So since we're missing that on the left side here, we're going to multiply top and bottom by 5r minus 5. And then when we do all the multiplication, we get 5r squared plus 15r minus 5r is plus 10r minus 15. And all of that is over 5r minus 5 and r plus 4. And then we go over here and we see that we're missing the r plus 4. So I'm going to multiply here by r plus 4. And on the top, r plus 4. Now there's a plus sign in the middle. We're adding these two, so I add. My denominator is going to be the same, 5r minus 5 and, r plus 4. And on the top, I have 3r plus 12. Now, just like with fraction busting on Friday, we can just add straight across the top. And when we do that, we get 5r squared plus 13r minus 3. And that's going to be all over 5r minus 5 and r plus 4. The one thing you want to make sure that you do when you're doing these is to see if you can factor and simplify any further after you do this. We would end up here, we could factor this down to 5r squared plus, let's see, minus 1 and 5r minus 3 would get us close, but it doesn't factor. So that, ladies and gentlemen, would be our final answer. Okay. Now, the next example I give you is a subtraction one, and I'm actually going to give you two of these because the one thing with subtraction is people always forget to distribute the negative sign. So, first step here, we're not going to want to multiply these two trinomials together because it gets big and unwieldy. So, as with everything I keep saying, with this, you are going to want to factor everything you can. So the first denominator here factors to v squared, v plus 2 and v plus 1. And the second over here is v minus 2 and v plus 1. By factoring, you can see that we have saved ourselves a little bit of work here because I have a v plus 2, a v minus 1, a v minus 2, and a v plus 1. So when you look at all three of those, your common denominator is going to be whatever's in all three. So I have a v plus 2, a v plus 1, and a v minus 2. And from that, we're going to subtract, same thing, v plus 2, v plus 1, v minus 2. Now, there's my common denominator. It is one of every one of the factors. So now I go back up and evaluate what am I missing from the first one? Well, I'm missing this v minus 2. And on the top, I'm going to multiply that also by v minus 2. On the second fraction, the fraction on the right here, you'll see that we are missing a v plus 2. So I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by v plus 2. Now remember, these are in parentheses, so you have to make sure that you FOIL them. So on the top here, I have 3v minus 6, 3v minus 6. And then over here, I have minus v squared plus 7v plus 10. The key to this, though, is remember that you're going to have to add the opposite and change all of those signs there. Okay? And when we do that, we now combine like terms across the top. So we have negative v squared minus 4v minus 16 all over v plus 2, v plus 1, and v minus 2. See if you can factor this. This does not factor. I'll just go ahead and jump that for you and tell you that. So that would be your final answer for number 2. All right, number 3. And there's one reason it's going to take a second to get there that I wanted to make sure we had an example of number 3. So once again, we're going to want to factor. So y plus 5. Oops, that should be not plus, but we're going to change that. Sorry. This has got to be a minus 5. Okay. And y minus 2. And over here, we're going to have a y minus 5 and a y minus 3. That gives you positive 15 and negative 8, positive 10 and negative 7. So our common denominator here, okay, is going to be, again, one of each. So we have y minus 5, y minus 2, and y minus 3, y minus 5, y minus 2, y minus 3. Going back to reevaluate, what do I need in this first fraction in order to get the common denominator? Well, I need this y minus 3. And what do I need in the second fraction to get this common denominator? It looks like I need a y minus 2. So you got to make sure you multiply both top and bottom, okay, by whatever you need to adjust the 2. So when I go to multiply over here, I have 3y squared minus 9y. There's my minus sign. And here I have 2y squared minus 4y. Once again, subtraction. So when we are subtracting fractions, we got to remember to add the opposite. And you got to change all of those signs or else it's not going to end up correctly because you're subtracting this whole polynomial here from this whole polynomial here. So when we do all of our subtraction, we end up with y squared minus 5y, okay, over y minus 5, y minus 2, and y minus 3. And here's the point that I wanted to make sure we did this problem out here. Because this is where you always want to check is to see, can you simplify your fraction, just like in regular fractions. So if we factor, we can factor out a y. We have a y minus 5, y minus 5, y minus 2, y minus 3, and you'll notice we have a y minus 5 here and a y minus 5 there, leaving you with a final answer of y over y minus 2 and y minus 3. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you add and subtract rational numbers. If you have any questions, feel free to jump into office hours today. We'll be there.